I'm pretty sure all of you remember who Kanae Kocho is, right? In case you've been living under a rock and don't know her, Kanae is that Hashira who got killed by Upper Moon 2, Doma. She's also Shinobu's elder sister, and the reason she's filled with such immense hatred for Doma. Now, what if Kanae was still alive in the Demon Slayer verse? How would her presence impact the overall story? Would her existence even make a difference? Well, you guys don't have to worry about all this because we've got you covered. In this video, we'll cover 3 alternate scenarios in which Kanae survives the battle against Doma and is still alive. In the first theory, just as Kanae is fighting Doma, Shinobu appears just in time, and both of them somehow manage to hold their ground. Their combined efforts force Doma to retreat, wounded but alive, leaving the battlefield in frustration. Kanae gets severely injured in this battle, but manages to leave the battlefield alive. Kanae's injuries prevent her from continuing as a Hashira, and she decides to retire from active duty. However, she becomes a cornerstone of the Demon Slayer Corps in a new role, a mentor to guide Shinobu. Kanao, and other young Demon Slayers. Her gentle demeanor and unshakable optimism inspire everyone around her, creating a sense of hope and purpose within the Corps. For Shinobu, Kanae's survival is a profound blessing. Without the consuming burden of revenge, Shinobu retains her compassionate and cheerful personality. She channels her energy into perfecting her poisons and refining her insect breathing. But how will her performance affect the storyline? Well, Kanae's presence wouldn't affect the beginning few arcs of the story, because Tanjiro and the others had no interaction with her. The first time they meet her will be during the Hashira meeting, where Sanemi threatened Nezuko. However, in this timeline, Sanemi will probably not do anything like this because he's a simp for Kanae, who's also present in the meeting. It will significantly improve Tanjiro's relationship with him. There's also a possibility that Sanemi's relationship with his brother Genya also improves. Kanae wouldn't allow Sanemi to treat his younger brother like that, because she's an elder sister herself. The rest of the story will proceed just like the original timeline, because neither Kanae nor Shinobu's presence matters that much. Things will take a turn for the worse when the Infinity Castle arc begins. Doma most likely sees Kanae like something he failed to acquire and will request Muzan to summon her in the castle as well, because he wants to take back what he lost in the previous battle. Just as the Infinity Castle arc begins, all the Hashiras get trapped inside the castle. They get teleported inside, and soon they find themselves in Doma's icy lair, where Doma seeks revenge for their past battle. Kanae, who wasn't even present there, also gets teleported, which shocks her. The sisters fight fiercely together. Kanae's flower breathing is as graceful as ever, protecting Shinobu and Kanao, while they deliver precise, coordinated strikes. Doma, stronger than before, overwhelms them with his ice attacks, and Kanae bears the brunt to shield her sisters. Despite her skill, she grows weaker as the fight drags on. What drags her back is the presence of Kanao and Shinobu. As I've mentioned previously, Shinobu isn't that strong in this timeline because she didn't have enough motivation to train. The same is the case with Kanao. Realizing the danger, Kanae pushes herself beyond her limits, launching one final powerful attack that leaves Doma vulnerable. Shinobu's poison slows him, and Kanao lands the killing blow, severing his head. As Doma disintegrates, Kanae collapses from her injuries. Shinobu and Kanao hold Kanae as her life fades, her last expression one of love and pride. Her sacrifice inspires them to fight on, stronger and more determined. Kanae's death becomes a symbol of hope and courage, driving the Corps forward in their fight against Muzan. Since Kanae ends up dying in this scenario, Shinobu is still alive, and her presence would definitely make the final battle against Muzan a lot easier for the other Hashira. Now let's see the second theory. In the previous one, we assume that Kanae survives the original battle against Doma, but retires as a Hashira. In this timeline, things are a lot different. In this timeline, Shinobu will end up dying while she attempts to save Kanae from Doma. As Doma's icy domain consumes the battlefield, Kanae and Shinobu fight side by side. Despite their combined strength, Doma's power is overwhelming, and his cold, detached smile mocks their every effort. In a moment of peril, Doma launches a devastating attack aimed at Kanae. Without hesitation, Shinobu intercepts the blow, shielding her sister at the cost of her own life. Kanae watches in horror as Shinobu falls, her body succumbing to the fatal wounds. Grief-stricken but fueled by rage, Kanae pushes herself to her absolute limits. Her flower breathing becomes a storm of deadly precision, and though she cannot defeat Doma, she forces him to retreat, leaving the battlefield shattered and silent. This will completely change the entire story. The beginning of the story for Tanjiro and the others would be similar to the original timeline. Things will start changing when they come across Rui and his family. In the original timeline, Shinobu was the one who saved Zenitsu, but in this timeline, she won't be there to save his sorry ass and he'll end up dying. This will change a lot of things in the original timeline, but I'm sure Tanjiro and the others would be able to defeat all their foes even without Zenitsu because they have plot armor. Things will proceed just like the original timeline since Shinobu wasn't part of any major arc. In the end, it's again time for the final battle against Doma, inside the Infinity Castle. I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that Kanae was much stronger as compared to Shinobu, and with the aim to take revenge against the demon, Kanae would do anything. As the Infinity Castle War reaches its peak, Kanae and Kanao confront Doma in his icy lair. The cold bites at their skin as Doma, taunting and overconfident, moves to crush them. But Kanae has prepared for this moment. All this time, Kanae has been secretly studying Shinobu's poisons, and years of research have culminated in a toxin crafted to overwhelm even an Upper Moon's regeneration. The battle is fierce, Doma's ice attacks crashing against the sisters' coordinated flower-breathing techniques. Kanae defends fiercely, drawing Doma's attention, while Kanao delivers precise strikes infused with the deadly poison. Doma begins to falter, his movement sluggish as the toxin takes hold. For the first time, his arrogance shifts to fear. Kanae, pushing beyond her limits, executes a flawless flower-breathing attack, striking a decisive blow and flooding his body with the toxin. Kanao follows up with a swift, powerful strike, severing Doma's head. As his body disintegrates, Doma's twisted smile fades, his defeat a testament to the sisters' bond and strength. Exhausted but victorious, Kanae and Kanao share a moment of relief. They've avenged Shinobu, her poison and spirit guiding them to triumph. This spirit inspires the Demon Slayer Corps, proving that even the strongest demons can fall. With Doma gone, the sisters steel themselves for the final battle against Muzan, carrying Shinobu's memory and resolve into the fight. In this timeline, Kanae manages to defeat Doma in the end, even without Shinobu. Now let's see theory number 3. In the earlier theories, Kanae was saved by Shinobu, but this time the outcome is far darker. During Kanae's fateful battle with Doma years ago, she fights valiantly but is eventually overpowered. Instead of killing her, Doma decides to turn her into a demon, seeing her strength and beauty as fitting for his twisted ideals. Too weak to resist, Kanae is forcibly transformed, becoming his unwilling servant. Since no one else was present during the battle, it's assumed that Kanae got devoured by the Upper Moon too. This news reaches Shinobu as well, and it sparks the flame of revenge inside of her. She starts preparing herself to take revenge for her sister. Her disappearance devastates Shinobu, who channels her grief into perfecting her poisons and sharpening her resolve. Over time, Shinobu rises as a Hashira, fighting tirelessly in her sister's memory. The rest of the story progresses just like the original timeline, as Kanae or Doma weren't directly involved in any of the major arcs. The story eventually reaches the Infinity Castle, where Muzan teleports all the Hashira to the Infinity Castle, including Shinobu. When the Infinity Castle battle begins, Shinobu wanders through its labyrinthine halls. She suddenly senses a familiar presence, and Kanae emerges from the shadows. But this Kanae is different. Her once gentle features are now marked by crimson eyes, and her aura carries a dark, malevolent edge. This shocks her, as she wasn't expecting to meet her long-lost sister like this. Her beloved sister had now been turned into a demon, who doesn't even recognize her. Without thinking, Demon Kanae ambushes Shinobu, who attempts to revive her memories by reminding her of their time together, but fails miserably. Realizing that she can't do anything now, Shinobu decides that all she can do is to end Kanae's life by her own hands. Fighting Kanae is agonizing, every strike filled with hesitation, but Kanae, under Doma's influence, fights back with the strength of a demon. As the battle rages, Shinobu pleads with Kanae, her words gradually stirring memories of their past. Kanae begins to falter, her strikes growing weaker as glimpses of her true self resurface. Seizing a critical moment, Shinobu delivers the final blow infused with her strongest poison. Kanae falls, her body trembling as the demon's hold breaks. With tears streaming down her face, she thanks Shinobu for freeing her. Kanae fades into ash, her last moments filled with love and gratitude for her sister. Shinobu is left kneeling, her heart heavy with loss, but strengthened by resolve. Kanae's tragic fate becomes a rallying point for the Demon Slayer Corps, spurring them to fight harder against Muzan. For Shinobu, it's a bittersweet victory, one that fuels her determination to ensure no one else suffers as Kanae did, while preserving the memory of her sister who inspired her strength. That's it, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments. See you next time. Bye!